alternating fuels I'm asking, not only petrol and diesel. So apart from petrol and diesel, there are many other fuels that you can use in an IC engines. Okay, even the CNG, the gas operated engines, isn't it? Even that is also an alternative fuel apart from traditional petrol and diesel, isn't it? Likewise, what are the different other fuels you have observed that I can use in my IC engine in your up till now? Have you heard of something or you have known of something?
Jatropha,
Hmm?
Jatropha, or Punjab Exporter.
Narendra, in the voice clear illappa. Just on the message Hatya. Hydrogen. Yes, hydrogen is being developed, but it is very difficult to extract energy from hydrogen. Okay, even that is there. Apart from hydrogen, anything else you have heard of? Seed oil. When it comes for seed oil, I would say, have you heard of this? Chaporta. Okay, have you heard of this seed? Chaporta seed. Anyone? This particular seed oil has been, it is just an oil seed, it's a sunflower oil seed ಹೇಗಿರುತ್ತೋ ಈ ಜಪೋರ್ಥ ಆಯಿಲ್ ಸೀಡ್ ಅದೇ ಥರನೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಜತ್ರೋಪ ಆಯಿಲ್ ಸೀಡ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಎ ಜತ್ರೋಪ ಆಯಿಲ್ ಸೀಡ್ and it is mainly found in West Bengal, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh region. Okay. So this particular oil has a greater amount of CV. What do you mean by CV?
Calorific
Calorific.
value.
Calorific value, correct? So this particular Jatropa seed oil is having a higher amount of calorific value, but it is very difficult to burn that. So even you can see many amount of this thing, other fuels like natural gas is there here, methanol is there, okay, even sugar cane, okay, next corn, wheat, all those oils are being extracted, ethanol, okay. So all these oils can be used, which has some amount of calorific value in that. But the thing is, it is very difficult to ignite those. That is why we will not use the whole amount of these oils or other whatever alternative fuels are there. Rather, what we will do, we will mix it up like 60% diesel, okay, and 40% the alternating fuel.
ಸರ್ H2SO4 ಅನ್ನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ ಅನ್ನು
ಏನಪ್ಪ
H2SO4 ಅನ್ನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ
H2SO4 ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇದಲ್ಲ,
ಫ್ಯೂಲ್ ಸೆಲ್
ಸಲ್ಫ್ಯೂರಿಕ್ ಆಸಿಡ್.
ಹೌದು ಸರ್.
ನೀನು H2SO4 ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಅದು ಫ್ಯೂಲ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಫ್ಯೂಲ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಇಸ್ ಅನ್ ಎಂಟೈರ್ಲಿ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್. ಐ ಆಮ್ ಟಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಐ ಸಿ ಇಂಜಿನ್. ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಐ ಸಿ ಇಂಜಿನ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಡೀಸೆಲ್ ಬದಲು ಬೇರೆ ಏನೋಕೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಫ್ಯೂಲ್ ಸೆಲ್. ಸೊ ಆ ಥರ. ಸೊ 60% ಡೀಸೆಲ್ 40% ಆಲ್ಟರ್ನೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಫ್ಯೂಲ್ ಅಥವಾ ವೈಸ್ ವರ್ಸ ಆ ಥರ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತ ಇವನ್ plenty of research is going on this particular topic on the alternating fuels. Okay. So all those theory content is there. Should we go in depth about this or we will just move to the problems? It's up to you. Okay. Should we go in depth about this or we can move to the problems? What should I do?
Depth, sir, depth.
Depth. Okay.
Problems.
What about others? Give me a message in the chat box, man, so that I can come to a conclusion. Not one or two. I need a response from everyone. ಸರ್ ಹೇಳಿ. ಒಂದೇ ನಿಮಿಷ. Because of the power interruption, I lost the connection. Okay. ಛೇ, ಎಂತ ಸರ್ ಇದು ಮತ್ತೆ ಬಂತ? Are you able to hear me, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now I would not be able to see your messages. Okay. Okay. ನರೇಂದ್ರ, ಏನು ಈ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟಾ? ಆಲ್ಟರ್ನೇಟಿವ್ ಫ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ
ಹೌದು ಸರ್.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬೇಜಾರ ಏನ ತಪ್ಪಿಸ್ಬೇಕಂತ
ಇಲ್ಲ
ಹಾಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀಯಲ್ಲ?
ಹಾಗೇನಿಲ್ಲ.
ಗೊತ್ತು,
ಇಲ್ಲ
ನಿನ್ ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಗೊತ್ತ ನನಗೆ. ಹೀಗೆ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ, ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು, ಯಾವ್ದು
ಇಲ್ಲ ಹಾಗಲ್ಲ ಹಾಗಲ್ಲ
ಅದಕ್ಕೆ
ಸರ್.
ಗೊತ್ತು ನನಗೆ. ಹೌದ್ ತಾನೆ ಏನ್ರ?
ಸತ್ಯ ಇದೆ, ಹಾಗಲ್ಲ ಸರ್.
ಓಕೆ,
ಹಾಗೆ ಸರ್, ಸುಳ್ಳು
ತೊಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಇದು ಮಾರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಬೋರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಥಿಯರಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್, ಮತ್ತೆ ಅವಾಗಾದ್ರೂ ಮಾಡುವ. ಓಕೆನಾ? ನಾವು ವಿಲ್ ಡೂ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಡೂ, ಯು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ವಿತ್ ಯು. ಓಕೆ, ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟರ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಎಂಡ್ ಮಾಡುವ. ಓಕೆ, so just have a look of all these formulas before I start. So IP is given as one ಕಡೆ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾಸ್, ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, IP ಹೇಗೆ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಡಿವೈಡೆಡ್ ಬೈ 60 for the 2 stroke, and for the 4 stroke you are adding 2 here. Okay, make sure about this. Next, PM is your mean effective pressure. ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾನೆ, ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇಂಡಿಕೇಟರ್ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾನೆ. ಸೊ ಇಂಡಿಕೇಟರ್ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 3 ಪ್ಯಾರಾಮೀಟರ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಒಂದು ಏರಿಯಾ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಕೇಟರ್ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್, ಸ್ಪ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದ ಲೆಂತ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಕೇಟರ್ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್. ಅದಿದ್ದಾಗ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯೂಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಟು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಯುವರ್ PM. Next is, if the number of cylinders increases, what you have to do, you have to multiply the same with the value of IP to get the overall IP. Okay, first of all, what do you mean by IP? IP is nothing but it is the power produced within the engine cylinder. Within the engine cylinder. Okay, so next is L is nothing but length of the stroke, is area of cross section of the engine cylinder. Okay, since it is a circular in cross section, you are using pi d square by 4 to calculate your area. N is your engine speed, brake power is 2 pi nt by 60. Okay, so what do you mean by brake power? Brake power is power available at the crankshaft. You can observe here, it is the power available at the crankshaft. So that is known as BP, and you are calculating it by 2 pi nt by 60. N is engine speed, T is the torque on the brake drum. So again you require a brake drum to calculate a torque. ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಡ್ರಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಒಂದು ರೋಪ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಒಂದು ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಡ್ರಮ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ಡ್ ಸ್ಪ್ರಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತವೆ. ಸೊ ಇಷ್ಟು ಅರೇಂಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಡ್ರಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಡ್ರಮ್ ಡಯಾಮೀಟರ್ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಡಿ. ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಲುಕ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ದಿಸ್ brake drum. Capital D is the diameter of the brake drum, small d is the diameter of the rope, S is the spring constant which is used, and W is the load applied. Simple. So all these parameters, if you feed here, you'll get the torque. From the torque you can get the brake power. Next is frictional power, IP minus PP. Mechanical efficiency, PP divided by IP. Volumetric efficiency, V actual divided by V cylinder. So actually, if 500cc engine ಇತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ 5cc ಅಂದ್ರೆ cubic centimeter, centimeters cube. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಸೊ 500cc ಇಂಜಿನ್ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂದರೆ 500cc ಆಫ್ ಏರ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಹೋಗಿರಲ್ಲ ಎವ್ರಿ ಟೈಮ್. It is not able to grab all the 500cc. Sometimes 480cc ಅಥವಾ 450cc of air is being grabbed. So how much actually is being grabbed divided by what is the total capacity of the engine cylinder. So that is known as volumetric efficiency. Next is indicator thermal. It is nothing but IP divided by heat supplied by the fuel. Heat supplied by the fuel ಹೇಗೆ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? It is mf dot into CV. mf dot is nothing but mass flow rate of the fuel. CV is nothing but the calorific value of the same. Same, it goes with the brake thermal efficiency where you divide power with the energy supplied by the fuel. Again, it is mf dot into CV. Next is specific fuel consumption. Specific fuel consumption is nothing but mf dot divided by IP, and brake specific fuel consumption is nothing but mf dot divided by EP. Its units are clearly mentioned here. Next is okay, mean effective pressure. We already defined it. It is a net work done divided by swept volume. This is the other form of definition of the mean effective pressure, or in terms of indicator diagram, it is area of indicator diagram divided by length of the indicator diagram. So you know about this, right? You know this formula, SA by L. A is area, L is length, S is a spring constant. Next, air to fuel ratio is MA divided by MF, mass flow rate of air divided by mass flow rate of fuel. The relative air fuel ratio is actual air fuel ratio divided by stoichiometric air fuel ratio. In a sense, what is the actual air fuel ratio which is going inside the cylinder? Stoichiometric air fuel ratio ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಕೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಯಿಂದ ನಾವು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ. ಸಪೋಸ್ 2 grams of hydrogen burn ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನನಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಬೇಕು? Through chemistry we will calculate. Hope you have learned this in the engineering chemistry. So that is known as stoichiometric amount of volume of air fuel ratio which is required to burn, which is calculated based on chemistry concepts. So that is known as the stoichiometric. Understand in that way as a simple way. Okay. Next is specific output. You leave about this, no, nothing important. Next is relative efficiency. It is actual efficiency divided by theoretical efficiency. What is theoretical efficiency and what is actual efficiency? ನಿಮಗೆ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಬಂದಾಗ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಈಗ ತಲೆ ಕೆಡಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಡ್ರಿ. So this is all about the things. Now, here is the first problem. Kindly note this particular problem. I think it's clear or not clear? Whether it is clear?
No, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, ಎಂತ ಮಾಡೋದು ಈಗ? ಡಿಕ್ಟೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಾ ಬರ್ಕೋತೀರಾ ಅಥವಾ ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸರಿ ಫೋಟೋ ತೆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನೇ?
Dictate ಮಾಡಿ ಸರ್.
Okay, the following observations were made during important ಏನಿದೆ ನಾನು ಅದನ್ನು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಬರೀತೀನಿ. 1 hour test on single cylinder engine. So single cylinder engine. So ಎಷ್ಟು cylinders ಇದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ?
1.
1. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಗಿವನ್ ಡಾಟಾ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನೀಟಾಗಿ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಡ್ಯೂರೇಷನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಹೌದಾ? ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಡ್ಯೂರೇಷನ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ? 1 hour. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಏನಿದೆ? ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಸಿಲಿಂಡರ್. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಸಿಲಿಂಡರ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇರೋದು. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಸಿಲಿಂಡರ್ ಇದೆ. ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ it's a 4-stroke engine. It's a 4-stroke engine. So I would just write it as a 4-stroke engine. Okay. Next thing bore kottidane. Okay. Bore is equals to how much? 300 mm. So what do you mean by bore? Bore andre enra?
Diameter.
Diameter. So engine diameter. So ನಾನು ಅದನ್ನು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೆಯೋದು? ನೀಟಾಗಿ ಬರ್ಕೊಂತ ಹೋಗುವ. capital D is equals to 300 mm. So convert it into meters. How much it would be when you convert 300 mm into meters?
3.
3, yeah. 0.3, yeah.
Point 3.
0.3 meters.
0.3 meters. Next ಏನಿದೆ stroke ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನೆ. So he has given the value of stroke here, so which is 450 mm. So shall I write it as directly 0.45 meters? ಆಯ್ತಾ? Next ಏನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನೆ mass of the fuel used. So mass of the fuel used is 8.8 kg. Okay, mass of the fuel used. So how do I write it? Okay, mass of fuel used. How much is that? It is 8.8 kg. Got it? Calorific value is given. So calorific value is equal to how much? 41800 kilojoules per kg. So just write it here also. 0 kilojoules per kg. Average speed ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನೆ, that is the value of n he has given it as 200 rpm. Okay. Next is mean effective pressure, direct ಆಗಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನೆ. So it is pm value is how much? This is 200 rpm and mean effective pressure is 5.8 bar. Okay, so it is 5.8 bar. So in terms of Newton per meter square, do you convert this?
Into 10 to the power 5 Newton per meter.
Very good. So it's 5.8 into 10 to the power of 5 Newton per meter square. Very good. Next, brake load. Brake load is how much? So brake load. How much is the brake load? 1860 newtons. 1860 newtons. So mass of cooling water circulated 650 kg. Okay. So next parameter here which is given is mass of cooling water circulated. How much is that? Like 650 kg. Okay. Next is temperature rise kotidan of cooling water. So temperature rise is how much? 22 degrees Celsius. Diameter of the brake drum kotidan. Okay. So I would write beside the brake load because it's a brake drum parameter, right? I'll just write it here. So diameter of the brake drum is to what he has given 1.22 meters. That is 1.22 meters. Calculate. So now we have to write whatever you must calculate for this. So I will just write to find the first parameter is what? Mechanical efficiency is questioned. Second, brake thermal efficiency. So, okay, brake thermal, so it is brake thermal efficiency you need to calculate. Number 3, balance sheet. So this is the overall problem data extracted. Clear? Any doubts about this? Any doubts? Any doubt in the menu?
No.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್.
Okay. So iಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ we'll start one by one. First, what you have to find? So now I will
Mechanical.
solution. Yes, exactly. The first thing you must find is the mechanical efficiency. So, mechanical efficiency, what is the formula?
BP by IP.
So, it is BP divided by IP. So, again, I need to calculate what is BP and what is IP from the available parameters. So, how do you calculate BP? What is the formula?
2 pi NT
2 pi.
divided by 60.
2 pi nt by 60. Do I have the value of n? Yes, I have here. It's 200 rpm. Do I have the value of torque?
No.
We don't have the value. So what is the formula to calculate the torque? It is W minus S into capital D plus small d divided by 2. Correct? Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So ಈಗ ನೋಡಿ ಈ formally has he given the value of the spring constant?
No, sir.
No.
No. So what you have to do?
No.
Yes. So totally you have to consider. So W minus S cumulative he has given as how much? This one. 1860 newtons. So he has cumulatively given the value of W minus S as how much? 1860. If he has given the value of spring constant, then only you consider. If he has not given it, just consider W. Similarly, it goes with this one also. Brake drum as well as the rope. Has he given the value of rope
No.
diameter? No. So cumulatively, you just take it as cross 1.22. That's it. So this is whatever you get the value, it would be in newtons meter. Correct? So give me the value of the torque. Give me the value.
So should we divide 1.22 by 2?
No, 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 no. You should not divide 1.22. Yes, you have to divide. Yes, you have to divide. You have to divide it. Okay? It's 1.22 by 2. It's since it's a diameter, no? You have to divide it by 2. Correct. Good, Aditya. So torque is equal to how much? Good.
1134.6.
Very good, very good. So it is 1134.6. Very good, very good. Now, so, torque is, I have the value of torque. Can I calculate the value of BP now? So BP is equal to 2 pi cross, what is the value of speed? Just 200 rpm. So it's 200 cross. Torque value is how much? It's 1134.6. This whole divided by 60. So what is the value of brake power?
$23,763.
In terms of kilowatts,
Please
23,000.
763.006.
Yes,
23.76 kilo.
okay, 23.76
763.
kilowatts.
Yes, sir.
Kilowatts, is that right? Okay.
Yes.
So brake power I have got now. I just highlight this with the box. Next, we will go for indicated power. So how do I calculate indicated power for 4-stroke single cylinder engine? So just look at the engine. It's a 4-stroke and a single cylinder. Okay. So how do I calculate IP now? What's the formula?
Plan divided by 60 into
Plan divided by 60 into 2. This is for 4-stroke and single cylinder. Okay. Now, do I have the value of PM?
Yes,
PM
sir.
value ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Very good. L value ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Very
Yes.
good. A value, so since diameter is given, you can calculate the value of A, I guess. Correct? A is pi d square by 4. So D value ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ? D value is 0.3 there. Correct? So just substitute 0.3 here. It is pi 0.3 its whole square divided by 4. Thereby you get the value of A there in meter square.
Sir, which diameter you are using there?
Which diameter I should use? You tell me that.
Okay, sir. Bore
Correct?
diameter.
Got it?
Bore diameter.
Exactly. So you have to use the engine bore diameter, which is this. Correct?
Yes, sir.
And this diameter is nothing but the bore diameter. It is 0.3. This is brake drum diameter. Do not get confused about it. That's why I have written just beside the brake load parameter so that you should not confuse. Okay. Area banta. ಎಷ್ಟು ಬಂದಿದೆ area? Oh, very good. Already IP value calculate ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. So we'll go for IP. Now IP is equal to PM value is 5.8 into 10 to the power of 5 in Newton per meter square. L value is 0.45. A value is to, how much is the A value?
0.0706.
0.0706. Okay. ಇದು A value. Next
70.68
N
into 10
value.
raised to
N value ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ? 200. So
200.
for this whole divided by, it is 60 cross 2. Yes, 2 value 51 kilowatts. Sam. Is that right? Let's check. Is the value correct? $30.71. So which one is the correct value then?
30.71, sir.
Okay. I would take it as 30.71. Just check if you got the same value, just raise your hands. 30.71 kilowatts. Good. Okay. So most of them are getting this. Okay. So now you go for mechanical efficiency. So it is nothing but it is BP divided by IP into 100. So what do you mean by BP? BP is how much? BP is 23.76 divided by 30.71 into 100. So give me the value of efficiency in percentage. Same.
$77.36.
77%.
77.36%.
77.36%. Very good. Now, next what he has asked. So one bet is over. Now the second one. Second one, what he has asked.
Brake thermal efficiency.
Brake thermal efficiency. So what is the formula to calculate that?
BP by MF into
Yes, brake thermal is nothing but BP divided by EMF dot into CV. EMF dot is what? It is mass flow rate of fuel cross CV. So do I have the value of brake power? Yes, I have. Already I have calculated. Do I have the value of EMF dot?
no.
I don't have. Let us look into the given data, whatever is there. Here's look here, all of you. This is important to be understood. Okay. Now, mass of the fuel used is 8.8 kg. Okay, ಅಂದ್ರೆ 8.8 kg fuel ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಬಟ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಡ್ಯೂರೇಷನ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ?
1 hour.
1 hour. So one hour ಅಲ್ಲಿ how much amount of fuel he has used?
8.8.
8.8 kg. So look at this. 8.8 kg of fuel he has used in 1 hour. Okay. So I want the mass flow rate in of fuel in kgs per second. So what should I do? What should I do? Yes, what should I do?
3,600.
Very good. So just divide
8.8.
8.8 divided by 3,600. Then it would be in kgs per second. That is nothing but mass flow rate of the fuel. Got it?
Yes.
Okay, now come back here and give me the value of MF dot.
.4 into 10 to the power minus
2.4 into 10 to the power of
minus 3.
minus 3. So it's in kgs per second. Now, calorific value. How much is the value given?
41800.
4100 41800 kilojoules per kg, correct? Okay. Now, before you substitute, you have to match the units. So whatever the units are there for BP, same units must be there for MF cross CV also. Okay. Suppose if your BP units is what? BP unit is what?
Kilowatts.
Kilowatts, right?
Kilowatt.
So even MF dot CV should be in kilowatts. So for that, just check the units. So MF dot cross CV, isn't it? MF dot is what? Kgs per second. You are substituting cross CV. It is kilojoules per kg. What happens? Kg goes away. Remaining is kilojoules per second. Okay. What is joules per second? Joules per second is watt, isn't it?
Yes.
So it would be in kilowatts. So you are substituting the value of BP in kilowatts and MF dot CV in kilowatts. Now it is matching, correct? So now you can substitute happily. So BP is 23.7 kilowatts divided by MF is 2.4 cross 10 to the power of minus 3 cross 41800 kilojoules per kg. So whatever you would get if you multiply it by 100 in terms of percentage, you will get. Very good. So 23.825. So this is the value we are going to get. Understood? Any doubts here? Any doubt?
So 23.68.
No, sir.
Now the last thing you have to do it is the heat balance sheet. Correct? So this is the last thing you have to do. What is heat balance sheet? Just draw the heat balance sheet, everyone, fast. So first you will be writing the heat inputs, whatever are there, okay, in kilojoules per hour. So just give percentage there, column. Next you will write what are the heat outputs, okay, and that would be again in kilojoules per hour and in percentage. Just try to draw a table like this, everyone, in your notes. Okay. Okay. So heat input is nothing but the heat supplied. Heat supplied. Okay. So that is QS. We will calculate the value now, don't worry. And first one is heat output. So heat equivalent to BP. So I would take this as QBP. Second one is cooling water
Heat
parameters he has
equivalent to
given, isn't it? Cooling water parameter he has given. Has he given the cooling water
heat loss to
parameters?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Then cooling heat lost due to cooling water, I can say that. Okay, I'll just write heat lost due to cooling water. So that is QCW. Heat, any parameter given related to exhaust gases, heat lost due to exhaust gases?
No.
No. So I would just write I couldn't write heat loss due to exhaust gases because no parameter is given. I can just take lastly unaccounted heat. Unaccounted heat as QUA. Now we have to calculate one by one. Okay. So first we will calculate the heat supplied. So QS. So how do you calculate QS? Heat supplied by the fuel. It is MF dot cross CV. Okay. So substitute the parameters. Remember, you should have the units in kilojoules per hour. Okay. So in order to have in kilojoules per hour, you have to substitute mf dot n kgs per hour. Okay. So what is kgs per hour mf value? It is 8.8, I guess, kgs per hour. Cross CV value is 41800. The value. So whatever you get the value here, it would be in kilojoules per hour. So this is the unit which we require. Accordingly, we have modified the substitution. Okay, give me in into 10 to the power of 3 terms. Can I write it as
367.84 kilojoules per second. Kilojoules per hour.
something like this? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I would
Yes,
write.
sir.
Okay, I will just try to write the same thing here. So 367.87 into 10 to the power of 3. So since this is the only thing, it accounts for whole 100%. Okay.
Sir, 10 raised to 3 means kilo, no?
Yes.
Then
So it's,
why?
what is the value? You just give me the value, we'll get to know. Just multiply these two and give me the value.
367,840.
367,840. So just
Yeah.
check for the units, man. So, wait a minute. Okay. Now, look here. You have substituted MF in what? You have substituted MF in kgs per hour.
Yes, sir.
Cross. CV value is in what?
CV. Kilojoules per kg.
It's kilojoules per kg, correct? Now,
Yes, sir.
what happens? Kgs goes away. Whatever the
Yeah.
value you get, it would be in what? Kilojoules per hour. So which is
Kilojoules
this?
per.
So you have multiplied these two and have given this particular value.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Got it?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Now, QS is done. Next is QBP. QBP is nothing but the value of BP itself. Okay. So what is the value of BP? What is the value of BP?
23.76 kilo.
It's 23.76 kilowatts. Kilowatts in the sense it is 23.76 kilojoules per second. But I require in what? I
Kilojoules per
require.
kilojoules per
So
hour.
what
Hour.
should I do?
Hour.
What should I do?
Hour. We have to convert into
23,600.
hour.
So it is 23.76 cross 3,600. Now we will get it in kilojoules per hour. What is the value?
$85,536.
So it is 85,000.53 into 10 to the power of 3, isn't it? Now you see, just substitute the same thing here. It is, I have very less space here. So 85 point, how much it is? 53. Okay, into 10 to the power of 3. Okay. We would complete this problem, guys. I don't want to leave this problem in between. Okay. Only 2 parameters are there. If you complete this, it would be done. What do you say? Will you give me another 10 minutes?
Yes, sir.
QBP ಆಯಿತು. ಈಗ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ QCW ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. How do you calculate QCW? It is mass of water cross CP of water cross temperature difference of cooling water. Okay, this formula is there in the heat balance sheet. Okay, so mass of water, how much per hour? Mass of cooling water circulated. ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನಲ್ಲ ಅವನು.
650 kg.
So it is 650 kg. 650 kg. Cp of water is 2. I told you this to be remembered always. So Cp of water is equals to how much? It is 4.186 cross 10 to the power of 3. Okay. So this is the value of Cp. You have to remember. Just write like this. Now substituting the same thing here, it is 4.186 into 10 to the power of 3. What is delta T? Temperature difference. I think it is 22, correct? So give CW*. This whole value will be in kilojoules per hour. How much is the value? $59,059. ಅದೇನೋ ಫೋನ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಇದ್ದಂಗಿದೆ. 59.85 into 10 to the power of 3. So I would just write the same thing here. 59.85 into 10 to the power of 3.
10 to the power of 6, sir. 10 to the
6
power of
ಬರುತ್ತಾ?
6. Yes, sir.
ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಬರುತ್ತಾ?
ಹೌದು.
Then
10 to the power 3 add ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ
3 or 6? 6 ಬರಬಾರ್ದಲ್ಲ. Okay, let us check for the units then. Okay, MWF cross Cp of WF cross delta T of WF. Correct? Now, MWF is in kgs per hour. We have substituted. Cp of water. So this is you have substituted in joules per kg. Next, this is temperature. So it is degree Celsius. Now what happens? Kg cancel. Now whatever, okay, you substitute this in kilojoules per kg itself. Okay, just substitute 4.186. That's enough. Okay, then the unit should be matched. So then you will get it in kilojoules per hour. If you substitute in kilojoules per kg, you will get it in kilojoules per hour. Just move this like this. Now it is correct.
Yes, sir.
But that mass of cooling water we substituted in kg itself, sir. We didn't convert it into kg per hour.
Okay, I would come to you then. Okay, I'll just explain. Okay. Look here, Sushant.
Yes.
Mass of cooling water circulated is how much?
650 kg.
What was the test duration?
1 hour.
So, for 1 hour, you are using how much water? 650 kg of cooling water. So, what would be m dot w then? It is 650 kgs per hour, no?
Yes, sir.
Got it? Clear?
Yeah.
Now, next you have to go for uncounted heat. How will you calculate unaccounted heat, man? So it is Qs minus of all the remaining heats. QBP minus of plus QCW. So just substitute all the things and give me unaccounted heat. 59.85. Yes, make it fast, guys. Substitute the value of QS, substitute the value of QBP, and substitute the value of QCW and give me the value. ಎಷ್ಟೊತ್ತು ಬೇಕು ಇದನ್ನು ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ? What's the value? QS ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ? 367.87. 367.87 cross 10 to the power of 3 minus QBP ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ? 85.53 into 10 to the power of 3 cross QCW ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ? 59.85 into 10 to the power of 3. Now you give me the value of unaccounted heat.
Sir, plus sir.
It is 222.43 into 10 to the power of 3. Am I correct? Kilojoules per hour. I would just substitute the same thing here. 222.43 into 10 to the power of 3. Correct? Now, look here. Last step. Okay? Now, you have to write the percentages. 4 percentages, what you have to do. Divide this by this and into 100. This is very important. Divide this by this into 100. What is the percentage? This heat divided by this.
23.2.
23.2%. Similarly, now this divided by this.
Sixteen. 16.2.
How much? 16? I heard only 16.
0.2.
0.2. Last one. This divided by this. Okay. 60.4. Now, if you add all these values, no, it should be 365, 367.86. And if you add all this value, it should be 100%. Then your heat balance sheet is perfect. So heat input is being balanced with the heat output. So this is your typical heat balance sheet. And there ends your problem. Understood?
Sir, how much marks problem?
Marks, 10 marks ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ.
10.
Understood, everyone? I'm sorry, guys. I have taken you extra 15 minutes. And definitely, I would compensate this in the next class. ಯಾವಾಗಾದ್ರೂ ಒಂದು half an hour break ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. Okay? Sorry, and just I would end this class and join the other class. Okay? Thank you.
Sir, attendance. Attendance Google
Attendance
sheet
ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿರಲ್ಲ. Okay, wait. You mark in the same sheet, guys. ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಶೀಟ್ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನು ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿಯಪ್ಪ. Attendance ATD.